So here you go. As I was putting together a little bit of a video I wanted to do earlier, this popped up in my feed. And I thought, well, no better time to talk about some mainstream stuff than right now since it's mainstream. But it says here, in the pantheon of Cold War madness, few relics are as bizarre as the terrifying as the CIA's heart attack gun, a piece of deadly American ingenuity that could non-alive a man without so much as leaving a trace. This wasn't just another spook's fever dream or wild eye invention of Hollywood. No, this was real, crafted in the darkened lab of Langley and wielded by a paranoid government determined to snuff out enemies without messy business of accountability. And what it just is, this is, I guess, the image of this thing, but they converted it to be pneumatic, so it wasn't fired by gunpowder, so you wouldn't hear it go off. But there'd be they would freeze little small dart-looking objects with shellfish, like this toxin that was noted to be in shellfish. This is why you're not supposed to eat so much of it because of the health implications. But too much of this chemical can cause neurological shutdown. And this was brought to the light of day back in the 70s, as you can see here in this congressional hearing. Just like recently, not long ago, they were talking about direct energy weapons on the Senate floor, and nothing is being talked about now. That's just sort of been swept under the rug. So in other words, this technology I'm showing you is old. Is it used? Probably not. But I just want to say I do watch a lot of reruns of old television shows, and disclosure's been going on in Hollywood for years and years and years. One of the episodes of Quincy, which is this dude his name was Dr. Quincy in the show, and he was a medical examiner. I like watching old stuff because it just kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel like not as bad. When I watch new stuff, it just sucks. And old shows sort of they hit better with me. And plus I get the climate and sort of the stair steps of how we got to where we are today, being able to see societal engineering in its real time as it progresses till now. And one of the episodes of this show was where this man was on a boat and he was involved in moving products through customs and not saying anything, not helping the mafia move illegal substances, drugs, and whatnot, weaponry through customs because he had a port. And when he decided that what was going on was just too extreme, he wanted to tap out. He said, "Dude, I want out. I don't want to be in this anymore." He said, "I'm not going to tell on you. You can count on me just to keep everything secret." But he says, "I just don't really want to do this anymore." And the people that were running the mafia were like, no. And this, because this was a port setting, by the way, watch Quincy, he lives on a little houseboat thing. They just injected him with some kind of substance and threw the guy in the water. And then whenever he was extracted from the water, he was brought to Quincy to be medically examined, and it was determined a drowning. But after a little bit more of a investigation, it was noted there was a high level of shellfish toxin in his blood. Now, they were like, well, he could have been bit by some kind of, whatever. Something could have got him because he was in the ocean when they found him. And the guy couldn't swim because they had injected him with that neurotoxin. Anyways, the Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack recently. And they have ways of doing this now without that weapon. They've got direct energy weapons now that can cause certain parts of your body to shut down. We know that back in the day when Kamala Harris was vice president, she went to Cuba and they hit her with a direct energy weapon and she had Havana syndrome and had to be hospitalized because of that, which was just pretty much a soft core message letting people know, hey, we still run the show in certain places. And that could have been our own side that did that, just to drive a narrative. Our own people will do that to our own people to blame it on somebody else. And you can call that whatever you want, but that's a real thing. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because we've seen some hard turns in our political agenda. Aspiration is to try to save this country, and the political leaders being, like taking 180s, like, what in the world is up with that? So, I'm not going to say that that's the case, but I just, the people don't realize just how ruthless our government is, just how ruthless people could actually be to further an agenda that far exceeds any of our wildest dreams. You got to remember, there's a group of individuals who want to depopulate, who want to control society, who want to move people in a box, who want to, enslave not just black people, not just white people, but everybody. everybody going to be a slave, and there'll only be a few people left, and you'll be glad to be a slave because you'll know that a bunch of your people aren't here anymore because of a strategic depopulation effort that took place. So you'll be glad to just be wiping off a robot, polishing up a chrome self-driving car. The Simpsons, basically, by the way, a CIA operation for years, pre-programming the public for a further agenda. When you see them having world leaders with their heads in one of these little glass jars as they've been preserved to live forever through some kind of thing, you'll be glad to polish those little globes off. I mean, this goes way deeper than just what I'm showing you right now. Eugenics has been a thing for many, many years. But anyways, on a lighter note, we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. Here we go. Yeah, so we got this whole thing going on with Jasmine Crockett where she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger in her britches. No, I mean, I'm not saying anything about that FUPA thing that they're talking about, FUPA Gate, but not front butta, but people that work for her. This is similar to what happened with Kamala Harris and that one chick who was like the moon is made of gas that's passed away now. I can't remember her name, but she berated one of her staffers till he like unalived himself because he felt so bad because she made him feel so terrible. Part of that. You can blame her for it. I can't remember her name. But anyway, but no, Jasmine Crockett doesn't do anything. It's reported that she kind of hangs out just in her apartment and doesn't want to really go to work or do anything that's useful. She just sits on her social media all long and just bitches about Trump all day, and then she expects all of her staffers to do all the work for her. And she like is foul mouthed to them, calls them names, makes them do all the work, takes all the credit for it, whatever work she is doing or they're doing that she takes the credit for. And it's getting to the point where they're speaking out against it and they're kind of leaving. This happened with Kamala Harris. There was a lot of people who were tired of working for Kamala Harris because she was so foul-mouthed and so mean and so irate that they just couldn't take it anymore and they decided to tap out. I'll show you the article that I'm talking about here. This is insane, which is typical. I mean, this is how the left operates, by the way. They don't want to do anything. I am truly a black woman. But here it is. AIDS unleashed. Not not the kind of Fauci AIDS, but these are the ones that worked for her. She says a boss from hell who terrorizes staffers, lays around at her apartment and never at the office. Jasmine Crockett is a boss from hell who screams at her staffers and lays around in her apartment, according to aides who have worked for the Texas lawmaker. Yes. Crockett, who is known for her foul mouth and reportedly rude to her staffers and refuses to come to office, should be a surprise to no one.
Because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker.
The aides told New York Post that Crockett is more interested in being an influencer who posts viral clips on social media than actually representing the people of her district.
All right, I'm going to give y'all a second to jump on. Hopefully I've got a decent connection, as I am in a car.
And this is indicative of what she talks about on the Senate floor, of how she should be the leader of the Republican Party or leader of the House because I got such a big social media following. I got clout. And she's always using cuss words and representing everything in the manner of just how vindictive and weaponized that she can be.
Like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you?
If you unleash this woman. But Jasmine Crockett has positioned herself as an unfiltered critic of President Trump, earning regular TV appearances on enthusiastic online following, but congressional aides tell the Post that the Dallas Democrat is just as rude and mean to her own staff. The loudmouth 44-year-old Jasmine Crockett, she came to fame since taking office in 2023, has a fiery assailant of the Republican president and his allies. But three sources who have worked for Crockett say she's rarely present when the cameras aren't rolling and terrorizes staff when she does appear. Crockett is not often found at her government-provided suite. It says in Longworth, but houses, she says, often with louder insider saying that she prefers to work from her nearby luxury apartment building, sometimes for weeks on end. She's laying around her apartment, won't come into the office, and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them. Yeah. And the former aide said she is never in the office and disengaged, so she does her bulls, and then goes viral and then freaks out over the most random things. You don't say. You don't say. That's basically her MO. Shock politics, I guess, is the new thing. It's like, we had the shock jocks. You had reality shows where people do really stupid and outlandish things, and people would tune in we got dildos being thrown on the floor of the WNBA. Now people are tuning in to watch that. All these new shock tactics to try to get ratings, but the end result is hard work is not being applied at this point. It's just all quick and ensuing comments and updos just because of some outlandish tactic, which does not have sustainability in the long run because there's no planning behind any of this. And the outcome is always the same. People just move on whenever it's over. There's no longevity. There's no lasting legacy. Anyways, guys, that's where we're at. So, and by the way, may not see much of her. If everything goes through that's supposed to in Texas, she herself will have to redo everything and actually be a real politician. And I think even, like I said, the Democrat Party are tired of her. So, y'all take it easy.
Who's
It's me.
Miss Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part
I'm
of the.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
You just voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
stand
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
Sorry.
Chair.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the mayor now.